England versus Albania provided us with a glimpse of the tactical philosophy Thomas Tuchel is attempting to implement. In this video, we will analyse England's pre-game tactical setup and in-game tactical adjustments which led to a 2-0 victory over Albania. The major tactical differences between Thomas Tuchel and Gareth Southgate. Stay tuned for what that surprisingly reveals. And we will also look into why England chose Thomas Tuchel and the underlying numbers to show this. And finally, we will analyse and determine the outcome to one key question. Can England win a major tournament under Thomas Tuchel?
How many times is your heart gonna break?
Now, let's not waste any time and get straight into the video. Welcome back to Football Manager Insider. Let's start with England's tactical setup under Thomas Tuchel. England was set up with a 4-2-3-1 formation with a double pivot of Declan Rice and Curtis Jones. In this formation, Jude Bellingham had a free role operating in between Albania's defensive and midfield lines and manoeuvring around Zone 14. As explained in previous videos, Zone 14 is an area located centrally just outside the penalty area. Thomas Tuchel had his fullbacks in Miles Lewis-Skelly and Kyle Walker in inverted positions, as they were moving inside into central spaces when England had possession, well advanced of the centre-backs. The benefits of having inverted fullbacks are that it creates overload opportunities in central areas. As the defensive block becomes more compact, teams look to create a numerical advantage in the middle of the park. Just as a side note, if you are enjoying this video, please do consider subscribing and liking the video, as it does help grow our community here at Football Manager Insider. We've revealed that around only 10% of viewers are subscribed, so please do subscribe and help continue grow our community. England's opening goal of the game came through an incisive in-between-the-lines pass by Jude Bellingham. With Bellingham operating in between the defensive and midfield lines of Albania, he managed to thread through a ball to Lewis-Skelly to provide him with his first England goal of his career. Jude Bellingham has shown that he's very comfortable receiving the ball in these tight spaces and executing incisive passes, as shown by his chances created touch map. With the opponents being Albania, England were rarely tested from a defensive standpoint. England was set up defensively with a 4-4-2 high-press formation. This was in essence to regain the ball quickly and recycle possession, and it worked effectively. Thomas Tuchel will look to exploit opponents through a strength of England's in corners. In Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka, England have Arsenal's main corner takers who have an exceptional delivery into the box. Although Saka didn't play, Rice provided an opportunity to Dan Burn with a header. With more work around set pieces on a training ground for Thomas Tuchel, I do foresee England dominating in this area under their manager. As the game progressed, Albania made life difficult for England with their solid defensive shape of a 4-5-1 low block. Albania were very effective in closing out central areas just outside the penalty area. England were knocking on the door and patience would eventually prevail. England's second goal came through a defensive mistake from Albania and attacking brilliance from Harry Kane. This goal didn't come from a tactical setup. It was merely a defensive mistake as the Albanian defender missed his clearance and Kane showed his brilliance to bury the ball in the back of the net. Overall, it was a very convincing 2-0 comfortable victory for England against Albania. However, much stiffer competition will have to come for England to prevail and win a major trophy. Let's look into the major tactical differences in footballing philosophy between Thomas Tuchel and his predecessor in Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate's philosophy prioritised a solid defensive foundation and a massive focus on avoiding conceding goals, at times though at the expense of attacking flair. Tuchel's philosophy emphasised more of a high pressing game with a quick transitions and emphasising an attacking style of play. Whilst Thomas Tuchel used a 4-2-3-1 formation against Albania, I expect England to be flexible with this formation and change this according to their opponents. Thomas Tuchel is known for his tactical flexibility and his ability to adapt his formations and strategies depending on the opponent and situation, as demonstrated numerous times at Chelsea. Gareth Southgate frequently used a 4-2-3-1 formation, which uses a double pivot defensive midfielders to cover the pitch. Gareth Southgate emphasises heavily upon a strong team structure and tactical discipline, with England players staying in their assigned roles, whereas Thomas Tuchel places a lot of emphasis on individual skill of his attacking players, which then enables them to express themselves on the pitch. It must be said, however, although Gareth Southgate had a more pragmatic approach than what is expected from Thomas Tuchel, his footballing ideology led England to 2 Euro finals in 2020 and 2024 respectively. This certainly cannot be snuffed at. This remains the furthest England have been in a major tournament since 1966.
Solid gold, and it means England are the world champions.
Now let's look into the reasons why England chose Thomas Tuchel as Gareth Southgate's replacement. One of those reasons are that Thomas Tuchel has never required a substantial amount of time to make an impact at a club. Thomas Tuchel has won at least a trophy in his first 2 seasons in a club since leaving Mainz. His impact at Chelsea was particularly swift. Tuchel went unbeaten in his first 14 games in charge following his appointment in January 2021, the longest unbeaten run ever recorded by a Chelsea manager at the start of their time at the club. Central to that was how Tuchel transformed Chelsea into a team that was so defensively sound. Chelsea kept clean sheets in 11 of those first 14 fixtures, conceding just once in each of the other 3. On the other hand, critics would point out, rather fairly I must add, to his underwhelming start to life at Bayern Munich, winning just 2 of his first 7 games in charge there. Having said this, Bayern did end up winning the title, despite being 1 point behind the leaders when he took over. A large majority of England fans would agree that Southgate did a brilliant job with England. He took over England from its lowest point and did a fantastic job in restoring back the pride in the men's team. The issue wasn't getting results, it was getting results in the biggest games when it mattered most. England were outclassed in the 2018 World Cup semi-final by Croatia, and then in the Euros by Italy in 2021 and Spain in 2024. There were murmurings that Southgate didn't have the tactical acumen and know-how to get positive results against the best teams when the pressure was really on. On the other hand, Tuchel can at least point to the fact that he has had success on the big stage. During those first few months at Chelsea, his team frustrated Man City in the FA Cup semi-final to secure a deserved 1-0 victory. A little over a month later, they beat Pep's brilliant Man City side again, this time on the bigger stage in the Champions League final by the same margin of victory.
Chelsea have won the Champions League!
Given England's struggles in certain types of games under Southgate, it feels like wins of this nature will have likely played a role in Thomas Tuchel landing the England job. One of the reasons why Thomas Tuchel can win a major tournament with England is because of his relationship with England's captain and talisman, Harry Kane. They may not have been able to win a trophy together, but the England captain scored an incredible 44 goals in 45 appearances for Bayern under Tuchel. This came with an expected goals of 37.4. As you can see from his touch map zones, 39% of Kane's open play touches in the Bundesliga under Thomas Tuchel came in the middle third of the pitch, compared to 44% for England at Euros 2024. With Thomas Tuchel at the helm, it could perhaps bring just that little bit extra out of Harry Kane, and that difference could be pivotal in winning a major trophy. Tuchel is widely regarded as being a football obsessive with a rich knowledge of all things tactics. He is a big personality with a proven track record of winning. Understandably, there were never any guarantees to success. However, there are not many available managers currently in the game who will be a better appointment for a team who want success immediately and bring England another long-awaited World Cup title.
Solid gold, and it means England are the world champions.
Thank you for watching, and please do consider subscribing and liking the video to keep growing this channel further.